What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We've had Lee on the channel before. People are discovering the truth of COVID and China's real population. Before getting into the video, from what I've done through my own research, is that China typically skews its statistics and data that comes out of the country, so we're not always given the true story. And in terms of COVID, I mean, the conspiracies were never really conspiracies, were they? Let's see what she's got to say.
Since the outbreak began in Wuhan at the end of 2019, the actual death toll in China remains a mystery. The situation worsened after Beijing abruptly lifted the extreme zero-COVID policy in December 2022, triggering a massive outbreak. At that time, crematoriums and funeral homes across China were overwhelmed. Soon after, China's Civil Affairs Department stopped publishing funeral and cremation statistics. As of today, the authorities still have not resumed releasing this data. Now, a new outbreak has been sweeping across China since late last year. Hospitals and crematoriums are again overwhelmed. However, state media and social media are censoring the information, dismissing it as influenza. The founder of Falun Gong, Master Li Hongzhi, said in early 2023 that China lost 400 million people during the pandemic, and another 100 million would die before the pandemic ended. Many people brushed it off or even laughed at Falun Gong. But now, the hard truth is coming out, and people are witnessing it firsthand. The disappearance of a significant portion of China's population is becoming undeniable. Across China, people are asking the same question: where did everyone go?
你有没有发现今年北京人越来越少了？本来啊，年后是返京的高峰期，然而今年大把的房子却租不出去啊，路上也冷清了不少。
你有没有发现北京城里的北京人越来越少？工作单位几乎没几个北京人。北京800万土著都去哪儿了？
这就是北京首都的现状。这前头是原来我在这做生意的时候一个3岔路，这上班一般的情况都是必经之路。看看这上下班5点多钟，这没人，这是必经之路，上下班就这点人，看见没？原来都是人挤人、车挨车的，现在根本就没有，熙熙攘攘。
首先问一下，有没有在上海的朋友，或者经常去上海的朋友？你们有没有一个感觉，就是貌似上海的人仿佛比原来少了，晚上上海的夜生活也比原来冷清了，就是那种烟火气差了很多。我为什么有这感觉呢？我去上海出差了一趟，我同学请我吃了个饭，他找了北外滩的白玉兰广场的兰心餐厅吃本帮菜，可能是在工作日6点多，客座率大概50%左右，整个商场的人寥寥。我以前是经常去上海出差的，隔3差5就去，那么对比一下以前跟现在，确实感觉现在的人流量不如从前了，无论是大街上还是商场里，还是说晚上。
这年都过完了，上海的人都去哪里了？你们有没有发现地铁上的人少了，商场里也是非常的冷清，就连以前最热闹的步行街现在也关了不少。
不知道是不是我错觉，我感觉上海人口变少了好多。
兄弟们，我现在到上海，你看上海现在的人特别少，现在做爱好线几乎没人，座位随便坐，随便坐。
你们有没有觉得啊，像广州这样的大城市啊，人都变少了，商场上没人，街上也没人，到处都没人。谁能分析一下人到底去哪了？是都回农村的老家了吗？还是说去别的地方发展？我在广州做这么久的贷款，我也感觉说，城市里面的人啊，真的越来越少了。但是啊，就是不知道人去哪了。
14年前我来广东做衣服，那时候但凡是个周末或者小节假日，街上真的人山人海，哪里都是人。晚上那夜市啊，真的搞到2、3点，街上都是灯火通明。可是现在呢，到12点，那夜市基本上已经黑灯瞎火了。以前我们这边租房子那是一房难求，现在租房子是随你选，到处都是房。
But what we saw is the situation in Beijing, Shanghai, and Guangzhou, the 3 megacities of China. And many people assume that maybe people in those large cities or megacities had simply left for better opportunities in second-tier cities, or they might have returned to their hometowns in the countryside. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the smaller cities and also in rural China.
以前咱们苏州这边啊，这大街小巷啊，全是人山人海的。现在呢，你再去看一看，人烟稀少，压根就没什么人。商场没人，广场没人，连摆地摊的啊，都是大眼对小眼，没什么生意。打工的人也越来越少了。那我想问一下，这人啊，到底去哪里去了？我本以为啊，只有咱们苏州人变少了，但是万万没想到，其他城市也一样啊。我打听过了，上海、扬州、南通、无锡、常州这些地方啊，打工人啊也越来越少了。那么问题出哪里？人到去哪里去了
？14亿人口的大国
，900万人口的济南，
街上没有人，
店里也没人，
人都去哪儿了呢？
你觉不觉得珠海这个城市人越来越少了？你看珠海商场没人，街上也没有人。珠海拱北之前那可是人山人海，现在到处都没人。谁分析一下人到底
？Is it just me, or does a lot of this seem very scripted? Like they're all being told to say the same thing, so I'm not really sure how true this content is that we're being shown here, but that's my first reaction to this. 400 million people is a lot of people, which would probably result in something like this happening. But seeing all of these content creators saying more or less the same thing in the same way does put my flags up, you know, like, I'm not sure. You guys let me know in the comments below. That's just how I'm feeling about this.
去哪里了？
这几年我在武汉感觉人越来越少了。以前光谱转盘挤不上公交车，春运上火车得爬窗户啊。但现在坐车都不用抬脚了，大家都去哪里了？
我突然之间发现了一个很可怕的问题，说过年呢，你说城市里面没有人，这个大家都知道，但是我在农村的表哥说农村都没有什么人，农村都是这样冷冷清清的。你说咱们中国14亿的人口，这些人都去哪里了呢？
你们有没有发现一个问题？以前我们只有12亿人口，但是不管你到哪儿，到处都是人，热热闹闹的。什么农村里头啊，田间地头啊，水库河边啊，到处都有3、5成群的小孩啊，嬉嬉闹闹的，满满的人间小气儿。还有就是那个城市里面啊，商场、马路上、小吃那都是到处都是人山人海。一到什么节假日了，各个景区全都人满为患。而现在我们14亿人口，反而到处都冷冷清清，农村再也没有了人，除了几个老年人在那守村以外啊，你就看不到什么人。学校也都倒闭了，县城里啊好像也没什么人，大街上、商场里到处都冷冷清清的。2线城市也没人，除了几个旅游景区，你看看啊，有点人以外，商场没人，饭店没人，大街上没人。除了上下班时间，你看道上跑的车以外，能有点车。平时的时候，你看那车你都看不到几台。甚至北京、上海这样的超1线城市，也说没人。公交、地铁啊，早高峰时期你都能看到啊，那都有座位啊，更别说大街上、商场里。你说这人都哪儿去了呢？他们到底是去哪儿了呢？感觉这社会怎么死气沉沉，没有一点烟火气儿呢？
Recently, several local governments in Jiangsu province released population data, revealing a huge gap between the number of births and number of deaths, raising public suspicion about the accuracy of China's official 1.4 billion population. People are discovering that what the Falun Gong founder said 2 years ago is correct. This is February 11th of this year. The government website of Jiangyan district of Taizhou City in Jiangsu released its end of 2024 population data, stating that in the year, the district had only 2,200 births, new births, but 8,000 deaths. Think about it. The number of deaths was 3.5 times that of new births. It also reported a population decline of 8.71% over the previous year. And then on January 26, the county-level city of Xinhua, Jiangsu, also published its end-of-year population, showing 3,300 new births and 14,500 deaths. The total number of deaths was 4.4 times that of new births, and the population decline was 10%. Can you imagine a city losing 10% of its people in just 1 year? Again, these are official figures, meaning that the real numbers could be much worse. And then in in a township in Sichuan. It's called Dazhu County, Miaoba Township, which is a township that consists of 13 villages. Local residents revealed that in 2024, 500 people died, while only 12 babies were born. Think about it. The death rate was 42 times that of new births. Something is seriously wrong here. So such a shocking low birth rate suggests a significant portion of the population vanished between 2021 and 2024. By the way, the person who posted this said that now he believes what the Falun Gong founder, Mr. Li Hongzhi had said was right. And what I want to share with you now is a Chinese user used Elon Musk's Grok 3 to explore the total deaths in China during the pandemic, and the AI's response was shocking. So the user wrote this post, and he said, Grok 3 is incredible. I just challenged it with a big question using its reasoning function or logic function. So the question is, how many people in China actually died during the 3 years of the pandemic? And so here's Grok 3's answer. This article, meaning the one that the AI is writing or just wrote, attempts to indirectly estimate the population decline in mainland China from early 2020 to early 2023 by analyzing changes in Chinese residents' consumption behavior during the Lunar New Year period. After analysis, China's population is estimated to have decreased by 150 million to 200 million. So another Chinese social media influencer pointed out that the above analysis, based on consumption data during the Lunar New Year period, may have restricted the logic and reasoning process. So he tested Grok 3 by asking the question in a different way. So he said, using China's consumption data, economic growth rate, unemployment rate, and other economic indicators, estimate creatively how much China's population declined from 2020 to 2023 during the COVID-19 pandemic. And after running its calculations, it provided two estimates. It says a conservative estimate is that China's population decreased by 150 million from 2020 to 2023. A bold estimate, the population decline reached 200 million. I believe the 200 million deaths is still an undercount because it's based on CCP's official economic and consumer data, which we know has been beautified and inflated. If we must adjust the 200 million deaths by normalizing the base economic data, the true figure may be between 400 million and 500 million deaths. So it makes COVID the deadliest event in human history, I think. And I think it's getting more and more difficult for Beijing to hide the huge loss of human life. And the truth will come out soon. Now, recently, Chinese social media was buzzing with the claim that 5% of the people born in the 1980s have died. The claim is that 1 in 20 people in their prime years, aged between 35 and 44, have died in China. It caused panic in people and forced the government to step in and discredit it. But numbers don't lie, and they're based on official CCP data. Someone compare the original birth data from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and compare them with the actual population in each age group today. So what you saw was the image of the Chinese post, how they did the numbers in Chinese. And here's I just, took the number and put them in an Excel model. So this is what it looks like. So the first column is the decade of their birth year. The next column indicates their current age. Then we have the total original births, right? And compared to the existing population in the next column. We have a calculated variance. This variance should indicate the number of people who have vanished or died. I mean, the only explanation for the disappearance of these people is death. I mean, that's what the original study said. Although some people may argue maybe immigration, but I don't think immigration is a big factor here. I mean, there's no way tens of millions of Chinese have immigrated. The last column on the right is the calculated percentage of people who have died or disappeared. So they found a 5% of the people in the prime age of 35 and 44 is gone. That's the last row that I highlighted in boldface. That's 1 in 20 people. This is shocking because 35 and 44, I mean, this age group is the most productive years in a person's life. How could China lose so many people in their prime years? That's shocking. I think equally shocking is the other age groups. If you look at people born in the 1950s, it's still troubling. People born in the 1950s, they are now between the age of 65 and 74. 20% are gone. That's 1 in 5 people. People born in the 1960s, ages 55 to 64, nearly 6% is gone. In the US, people in this age group are still working. They haven't even retired. Yet in China, tens of millions are missing. So CCP's cover-up of COVID deaths and the regime's manipulation of demographic data is the worst lie in human history. When exposed, the whole world will be shocked. And I think it will be a moment of reckoning for Chinese people.
Guys, can you imagine if this is found to be true? If almost 400 million people died during COVID. That's more than a population. That's like everyone in the US dying. The entire country just gone. It's really difficult to fathom. Like I said earlier, I mean, I don't know if those content creators are telling the truth, but you can't deny if they are actually showing busy areas and talking about public transport and those areas in the transport is empty, you can't deny that that's a very rare sight. I mean, I went to China in, I don't know, 2012 or something like that, and it was busy. I mean, I was in Beijing. I went to Shanghai as well, and the trains were ultra busy. You had to shove yourself in there and shove yourself out. You know, like this, like you see in movies and video, right? It was so busy, and that guy on the train earlier, that really caught my eye. Turns out welding people into their homes without giving them food is unhealthy. Yeah, I mean, if they were dying at such a rapid rate, you can probably see why they were actually doing that, to be honest. I mean, is it possible that COVID was some kind of chemical weapon that was designed to attack Chinese DNA or something? I don't know, just putting it out there. If that's the case, because why was it that 400 million could die in China, but other countries don't seem to have reported such a massive amount of death? I mean, the percentage was small. I know everyone went crazy about it, but it was small. But it's possible that maybe it was like some kind of ethnic attack, racial attack or something. I don't know that much about biotech, but it could be something to do with that. Let me know in the comments below, guys. Maybe there's an expert here watching. Let me know what you think or what your theory is. Many died of starvation as well. Yeah, I guess maybe because they couldn't go out of the apartments, locked in the apartments, could not leave the block at all, no food. Yeah, I mean, it could be possible that it wasn't even COVID, it was just a result of the policy of the government. I find that difficult to believe though, but I wouldn't put it past the Chinese government, really. Who knows? I mean, it's kind of eye-opening to me. I remember the sound of thousands of people crying out, locked in their apartments without food or medicine. I assume this person is in China, maybe. People have noticed missing numbers of people, but no one has mentioned missing relatives and friends. Yeah, that's true, so that's why I'm not too sure. Remember the haunting videos of the tall apartment buildings with sounds of people wailing? Yes, I do remember that. I'll not trust any government again. Yeah, I mean, well, China definitely isn't a government that you should trust. Or if you're going to trust any of them, it definitely wouldn't be China. We'll never know the truth because those who know the truth will never admit it. Possibly. I mean, can the truth come out from the government? Is it only the government that can tell us? I don't know. My son told me that mobile phone usage tanked in China during the first year, and that was a better death count than the official Chinese figures. Ah, interesting. Interesting. COVID was not a big deal. The vaccine was a big deal. Is it possible 400 million people died from a vaccine that the government gave them? I don't know. I mean, I know the vaccine has its own problems, but a lot of people around the world took the vaccine and they weren't dying in massive numbers like this. Look at the vaccines, not COVID. I think the vaccines are more of a long-term issue, not an immediate death issue. It's 2025, guys. COVID was 2020 to 2023, 3 years. So let's say within 5 years' time, 400 million people died. That's not a long-term thing. That's immediate deaths. Cause for concern. That's like people literally in the street dead. The level of government suppression is scary. Government entities seem to be getting out of control across the globe. Yeah, I mean, you can't compare China with with other government agencies. Come on, man. Government as a service to its people seem like a lost concept. I do agree, but come on, guys, please don't compare Chinese governance to Western governments. Two totally different evils. What an utterly dystopian nightmare. Yeah, the Chinese asking where's everybody. Wouldn't they have first-hand knowledge of how many people they know that died, friends and family? Yeah, I agree with this to some extent, just like the comment above. But I mean, if you had a bunch of people die, your friend had a bunch of people die, you would talk about it, right? You'd be like, well, all of me and my friends, we've all had a bunch of people die that we know, so that's what it is. I lived in China through COVID. I asked many people, and almost no one I know had family or friends die during or because of COVID. What I am seeing is I lost so many friends and family. It just seems odd that they're calling out that everyone's gone, but they don't know anyone who isn't around anymore or aren't commenting on it. Are people in China just not social? Yeah, the whole thing seems odd. I'm not even sure how truthful this content is. It could be paid opposition. It could be some kind of intelligence, fifth generation warfare type campaign by the CIA or Western governments in China to cause panic. I really don't know. Just kind of spitballing here. But yeah, that's my thought, guys. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? 400 million people dead in China? Do you think it's less than that? More? Do you think that this is just a load of nonsense? I mean, even if it was 100 million people, that's still a lot of bloody people, right? Let me know. I know it was pretty bad for a lot of countries, but China, I remember the news coming out of China just saying, or seeing people locked up in their apartments and stuff. So maybe it's a result of that. So yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one.